Some watches barely last a week in my inventory. I get them in, I list them, and before I can finish polishing them up, they're gone. On today's video, we're going to be talking about 4 or 5 pieces that I think really have withstand the test of time and are really just good liquid pieces. Now, these pieces don't rely on hype. They don't rely on the market as much. These are just pieces that, through the years, in my opinion, they've really just become popular staples of my inventory and the inventory of a lot of different watch dealers and watchmakers. If you have one of these pieces, please comment below. I'd love to hear you talk about it. And if you hadn't subscribed already, please do so, because we're going to be coming out with these videos as often as we can, and I really love sharing this information with you. Okay, great. Let's get into it. Now, first on the list is a classic 36mm Datejust. Now, this could be any model, but I find that the 116-200 and the 116-233s really sell very well for us. And the reason being is I think that if you ask any watchmaker, any dealer, it's just a definition of liquidity. You have all of the main points that I think an entry-level collector is looking for. And there's so many different dial configurations. You can go with a stick dial, a Roman numeral dial. You can have a nice patina on the piece. It's really a good mix of vintage and neo-vintage heritage. And yeah, I mean, these pieces are not defined by hype. In my opinion, they're as good as gold. And something that we have here, beautiful Datejust 36, and we get them in, and they're just very quick to move. If you price them right, as a dealer, and they're clean and they run well, you really shouldn't have any problem picking them up. And of course, as a buyer, you can find most of these between the $3,000 and $4,000 range on the entry-level side of things. And yeah, I just think it's a great entry-level piece to have. I think it's a great piece for any collector to have, just because of the versatility of the dial on some unique pieces like this. So again, Datejust 36. Here's a beautiful example that we have. And yeah, I just think you can't go wrong. The next piece that I think really is just very difficult for us to keep in stock, and something that sells very well for us, is a Black Bay 58. Now, this particular example that we have here is that burgundy dial, the Smiley, but it really doesn't matter what the configuration is. Blue, gilt, anything that has these level of vintage proportions and in-house movement, just sells super well for us. So, in my mind, these are really just something that we like to keep a lot of. A good friend of mine who is a watchmaker out in the city said, came to my office one day and he said, "Nick, you have 6 or 7 of these." And there's a reason for that. I think they are a wonderful modern volume game. I think it's everything that a collector says they want and that actually have the budget to buy. Something under $3,000 in most cases, of course, depending on the configuration. I think it's a great tutor for everyone to have, and the reason why I just have a really difficult time keeping them in stock, which is a great thing. And I'm sure a lot of these will sell around the holiday season. And again, my favorite would have to be this burgundy, as it just really pops. It really looks great. It's got some rose accents, and yeah, I think a lot of collectors have come to appreciate the Black Bay 58 in recent years. Now, this next piece is unique in that it's the one watch that I can comfortably tell any collector that they can buy pretty much blind and they'll come out just fine as far as a liquidity standpoint goes, and that is the Speedmaster Moonwatch. Now, this particular example is a Sapphire Edition, which is not my personal favorite. I really like the Hesalite because I think that it has some nicer tones of heritage, but again, it's got a rich history. It's a piece that anybody could have, And yeah, when it comes to chronographs, not much can beat it. Now, of course, looking at something like this and knowing that it's a piece that can be had for anywhere, usually under $7,000 for something like this. There are older editions, they call the big box, that can be had for even less. And of course, more collector's editions that could be had for more. I think that this piece right here is something that, in my opinion, is very inflation resistant. And even though you've seen prices go up recently, it's a piece that if you needed to move it tomorrow, you can do that, and it would be incredibly liquid and incredibly available to you when it comes to the Speedmaster as well. The thing that I really like is when you come across somebody who has it, they seem to know a whole lot about the piece. They talk about the year. They talk about the fact that it's the first watch on the moon. They talk about the movement. It's a piece that I feel like is very well researched by those who have the watch, and that's what I think when people come to me for these Speedmasters. There's very little that I need to do as a salesperson because it's so iconic. And that's why I think that, especially this holiday, it's just going to fly off the shelves. Now, a lot of these pieces that we have in stock are more modern, but every once in a while we come across something that just really fits well for the vintage crowd, and those with more modest wrist, and that is the Rolex Explorer 1. I really think that, again, collectors like it. And I think collectors like it because it is simple and it is sleek. And yeah, I mean, you have everything from the 369 dial. It's very compact. It's not a busy dial. I feel like busy dials in general have become more of the craze, in recent years with skeletons and different, macro this and, specialized crystal that. And I really think that just a standard, wonderful black watch that you could put on your wrist that, again, fits most wrists at 36 millimeters, it's just the GOAT. I mean, as long as you find something that is clean and that runs well, it's a watch that I'll buy every time if it's available. And yeah, I mean, something like this, if you found a clean, complete set, you can have it for, as I said, around that $6,000 mark. And if you were comfortable with a watch-only example, even less. I mean, I've sold them as cheap as, $47.50 on a strap, and people will still buy them because they understand the heritage and simplicity of the Rolex Explorer 1. Now, this last one could be a little controversial, and that is the Cartier Roadster. For us, having started, for those of you who have been watching the channel for a while, you know that I had a pretty strong interest in fashion and style when I first started the channel, hence why we named the company Taylor Timepieces. And I think Cartier, it just gets so much brand recognition from those that aren't even big watch guys, or watch girls. I think that, to that sense, a lot of the other pieces that we showcased here today in this video are a little bit more masculine leaning when it comes to wearability. And the Cartier Roadster and the Santos, those two pieces in general, those two models are just pieces that everyone's looking for, even if you know nothing about watches. I think people will know the Roadster and they will know the Santos. It's a unique piece. It's something that, hey, if you're not really a fan of the circular, round, or oval shape that so many watches come in, it's a piece that you can wear comfortably. Usually these sit around anywhere from 36 to 39 millimeters, so it is a piece for those with a more modern wrist. But, on top of that, I just think it's a very crisp dial. It's not as uncluttered as, let's say, this Explorer 1 that we stated, but this here I just think has so much potential. And again, you know, when it comes to being a well-to-do professional, I think everyone should have a Roadster or a Santos in their collection, and that's why I think that these just really fly off the shelves for us. Specific colors that I feel do really well are blue, black, and white. The green we have, and the brown, you know, we've had in the past, but just in general, I think that sticking to those main neutral colors really brings a lot of interest to the inventory, you know, and I think that everyone should have a Cartier in their collection. So that's it. Those are the 5 pieces that I just can't keep in stock. I think every dealer has their guideline to what they like and what they keep in their inventory. Mine is simple. If it has heritage, simplicity, and collectability, it's a great piece to own. And if it has all 3, it's not going to sit on the shelf. It's going to move. If you want to see what else is available, check out our eBay store or go on TailoredTimepieces.com. If you like this video, then give it a like and comment below about some other highly liquid pieces that you have in your collection that you just can't do without. As always, this has been Nick Campanella, and I'm so glad that we got to get this out to you today. Catch you in the next one.